All right, so we're just waiting for our runners to get started here, and I Have No Name is really looking for an early flute, and we're off right now. So looking for that early flute. Wants that early movement. It also unlocks Death Mountain early, which can lead to a plethora of items, especially on that east side. We get the 10 bomb drop right at the beginning. So that's going to take care of, first of all, we're not going to have to do bomb escape because Uncle is guaranteed to have a different weapon. And second of all, we are all set as far as the back of escape goes. Get those 3 extra chests in the back there, so no worries about that. So gotta be feeling pretty good about those 10 bombs. Bombs, of course, one of the trickier weapons to use during escape.
What item are you hoping that Uncle has?
I'm hoping for Blue Cane. I think Blue Cane is a very skill-based item, but today we get a Fire Rod, so we're gonna be burning some enemies as we go. No need to farm, so you do have the ability to burn these 2 green guards right here for free. There are 2 small magic refills right under the pot as our runners pick up 20 rupees from the boomerang chest. So normally you'd try, you get 8 shots with a full magic meter. You have to kill a total of 5 enemies throughout this entire escape sequence. So that gives you kind of 3 free shots. In addition to that, there's small magic in a couple of pots. If you know where you're looking, there's the 2 right there in the boomerang chest. There's also a bit in the darker rooms. But with no real reason to farm with those early 10 bombs, I don't expect to see our runners do much here. And Sinhe drops a bomb, kind of by mistake. Looks like he meant to do a fire rod shot there, but 9 bombs versus 10 bombs early, not going to make much of a difference.
They will both still have enough bombs to clear all of Kakariko and the South Loop.
And so it looks like on the left, we have No Name with the vanilla Link sprite. Just wants that the classic look. On the right, it seems to be a slight coloration variation of Link. I believe that's 4 Swords Link. Is that correct?
I don't know. I've mostly played A Link to the Past and Breath of the Wild, so I wouldn't truly know.
Well, either way, we've got a sword for both of our runners in that second boomerang chest. So 3 weapons early, the 10 bomb drop, the fire rod, and the sword. Going to be all set for Skull Woods once we get there. And that ball and chain guard going to go down pretty easy to a single fire rod shot. Zelda's just holding the map today. That's something that they're going to more or less have to pick up, so they're not too disappointed.
And as we have both the key and the map right now, we will know that in the back of escape will be 3 items, and the chest in the sewers will also have an item. As escape is the only dungeon that doesn't have a compass.
So with both of our runners sitting at 3 wins, even though Sinhe's got a tie while No Name has 2 losses, they are both fighting for their tournament lives here. I don't believe 3-2-1 or a final record of 4-2-1 is going to be quite good enough to make the brackets. And obviously neither is having 3 losses. So both of our runners here, this is kind of an important race, fighting for their tournament lives, want to move on to that top 128 bracket stage to play more rando. So I mean, I think this is the bracket to watch. This is the one where you're going to see players most try to do these crazy gambles to stay in it, to really stretch themselves and get any advantage they can over their opponents in an effort to make that next stage. Just 2 weeks left, this weekend next, in the Swiss rounds. And No Name having a little bit of bad luck there with the RNG. Meanwhile, Sinhe gets great luck and gets a ton of bomb drops in the early prize pack for those stakes. Not going to be too useful here with already full bombs. But both of our runners are going to be happy to have a little bit of money walking out of here. Always good to have money early. Going to get 100 rupees for that bottle vendor, maybe 50 rupees for bombs, though I don't think that's going to quite be necessary. And of course, eventually that extra 500 for Zora.
Nice quick kill on the key red from No Name, as did Sinhe.
A little less stressful with that sword in your inventory. You don't have to worry about your ammo usage. And more money, more protection, and the flute. So there's that early flute we were talking about earlier.
That's really nice, as most runners will go to Kakariko, so they can easily activate it early. And it makes the south loop really nice and quick.
Yeah, especially if you're going to end up checking something like Ice Rod Cave, fluting from that mini Moldorm Cave to 8 is actually going to save you a bit of time. So both of our runners triggering the end of escape sequence at under 6 minutes. It's going to feel pretty good. And this flute really going to allow our runners to be a bit extra efficient in that Kakariko village opening. They're going to be able to... Ooh, we get our first map check. We got crystals at Hera and Eastern and a pendant at Desert.
Yes, a red pendant at Desert.
So we'll have a little bit extra efficiency in Kakariko with being able to activate that flute. You won't have to save and quit and then come back to Kakariko just for that. We're going to check the tree pulls here on our way through. The level 2 tree pull today, just a single rupee. And the bush crabs only got small magic refills.
Let's see if Aga is required for... Oh, I did not catch that.
No, I have no idea what that was. Let me see the second one. I bet somebody in chat caught it. Single rupee. Not coming back for that. Flush it down the toilet. We're going into the woods. Both of our runners did opt to check the lumberjack tree. We've seen a lot of runners lately not check that in an effort to, save those extra few seconds. Just kind of hope that it's not required, or come back to check it when it's hopefully a little bit more efficient. No Name, I'm going to pick up that full heart container in the mushroom spot. I like this play. Early defense is very important, and it's hard to get more efficient than those full heart containers. So even with that blue mail, you're still looking for that extra defense, and both of our runners indeed are going to pick it up. We got Quake in the Thieves' Hideout. So it could be a piece of progression a little bit later on. Nothing doing right now, but always good to have those medallions in your inventory for later on. And the level 1 tree pull is 20 rupees, so that is fantastic. That should set our runners up for the rest of the game here. With 700 rupees, there will be no need to farm rupees at all during this seed. So we're going to start our Kakariko chest opening bonanza here. A couple of people in chat asking about Sinhe's tie. I believe the tie was due to a mutual forfeit in round 1, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm just regurgitating what our lovely tracker, Dude, was saying in chat earlier. So if I'm wrong, blame him. So we get a second medallion here, Ether. So we're already 2/3 of the way to being able to open Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. We'll see which one is required for which.
Or none. But maybe we don't need to enter both Mire and Turtle Rock. That would be exciting.
Definitely a possibility. We have No Name checking out giving his map check. And we find another heart container. So our runner's getting beefed up here with these heart containers. But nothing else doing in the well, so we are just a couple locations left here. We're not going to be able to do the bottle vendor. No, we are going to be able to do the bottle vendor. We're rich beyond our wildest dreams. But we are not going to be able to do the sick kid, which requires a bottle. So Thankfully, No Name and Sinhe both remembering to do their flute activation here. Not something you get very often in this opening sequence, so important to remember. So just 2 more items in the village proper. We'll go south for a screen, most likely check out the race game, maybe take a peek into the library, and then we are off to either South Shore, or we could go up to the mountain, or we could go to Eastern Palace area, or we could even I've seen some runners lately go to Desert. It's a little bit of a risky play. You check that Agena Cave early. Ooh, we get a lamp, so that does open up by logic Death Mountain. So checking Agena early does give you a little bit less of an item density, but there is always the chance that your opponent won't do that. And so it's really important to do something that your opponent just doesn't do in order to get an edge in these races.
They are getting a lot of bombs right now.
Oh, and chat point now, my mistake, saying Death Mountain was already opened by the flute. Yes, Death Mountain was already opened by the flute. Ooh, we get a Master Sword in the library. What I mean is the old man is now within logic due to that lamp. They don't have a glove yet, so the only way to get to the old man right now is flute plus lamp. Although I am very confident both of our runners would be able to navigate the old man out of there without the lamp. So Sinhe takes a peek at the race game, sees that it's just a piece of heart, and flutes right out of there. No Name gonna take the risk that is something good. Sees that it's a piece of heart, doesn't want anything to do with that, pulls out the flute, and both of them will head to the South Shore.
Well, with that lamp and the Master Sword on the library, this could be an Ega Seed.
We'll see how early we get boots. There's also 2 other sword upgrades sitting out there in Hyrule somewhere. Another full heart container. So Sinhe finally says, you know what, I got enough defense, I don't need that. We're going east. I would have probably picked it up personally, but I am a scaredy cat baby. We'll see what No Name wants to do here. No Name gonna pick it up. I like picking it up. I like picking up full heart containers until you get that first row of hearts. There aren't that many throughout the game. And No Name gonna actually flute over to Desert and do that play I was talking about earlier. Sees that there's a boomerang on the Desert shelf, so that's a little bit of information. Unfortunately, not useful for him today. And we get a glove from the generous guy in the mini Moldorm cave. So a glove, that's the next piece of the puzzle to that Dark World access. Just looking for either a glove upgrade or a hammer, plus that Moon Pearl. And we are going to go to Ice Ride Cave on Sinhe's side as we pick up just 3 bombs in Agena's cave. Going to take the long walk out of there. I would much rather see a save and quit out of Agena's cave a little bit faster. And what do we have there? I missed what was an Ice Ride Cave.
It was just a full heart container.
So see, being kind of generous with those heart containers early. As No Name gonna head in, use the same ether strats to clear out those mini Moldorms. And Sinhe's gonna head over to the Eastern Palace area. So 3 items in the back of Shrahasalas hut, as well as the possibility for 3 items inside Eastern Palace. With that lamp, they do have logical access to most of them. Obviously not to whatever the Artmost Knights are holding, but everything else. We get a magic mirror, so that's going to get us to the top of Death Mountain to Hera, as well as a bottle, so that'll get a sick kid. Could be progression. We'll see if Sinhe's going to head into Eastern, or if he's just going to go right up to the mountain and try that route. And with that flute out, I don't have the volume on, but it looks like he's flew away. Gonna go turn on that bottle first. Want to make sure that that's not going to block anything. This is not quite as efficient as I'd like it to be, but like I was saying, in order to... You can't just always focus on efficiency, because if you assume your opponent's going to do that, then you're going to do the exact same thing, and then you're just relying on your execution. And then you can get into a situation where you're feeling really bad about these, you know, few second time losses. So you do want to make sure you're doing something different. So sometimes go off and check those one-off locations. We've seen both of our runners now willing to do that. It looks like No Name's going to set up for a fake flipper here. Gets his first try. That was perfect. As Sinhe goes and rescues the old man.
I'm hoping for a hammer on inside Spectacle Rock. That would mean East Death Mountain access, which is just a more item. Oh, and we have Cape. Oh no.
So Cape, another piece of the puzzle for Aghanim. So unfortunately, the seed is looking right now like it's pointing us to Aghanim, as Sinhe gets a little bit of dead rock and just 3 bombs at that hobo. Yeah, with that cape and that lamp now, we are able to access Aghanim no problem, but we are not able to access the Dark World any other way. Still 2 items away at least from Dark World access. Although we do find that hammer up top, so there's a plethora of chests on the east side. We could be saved by that hammer.
I know for sure Sinhe is really going to hope for Moon Pearl on right side, on east side Death Mountain.
Hey, we get a map check on the Dark World, so it looks like our other pendants are at Skull Woods and Palace of Darkness. So those medallions will be put to work later on. No Name going to take the long walk around to Zora. And we saw just a piece of heart on the ledge as Sinhe heads into Tower of Hera. That'll be the first crystal dungeon. And he does have the ability to full clear it. Moldorm a little bit more tricky with just that level 1 sword, but if you're familiar at all with the base game, that is what you're supposed to have coming in here. That hammer, of course, will be able to take care of Moldorm no problem. Only 2 items in Tower of Hera. That 20 rupees is the first of 2. And Zora with that Moon Pearl. I missed it the first time around. That Moon Pearl on Zora is a big deal. So we do have Dark World access. Aga is not going to be required today. It's just going to be a matter of time, and it looks like No Name's going to head up to Death Mountain, so he'll be picking up his hammer relatively soon. So we're going to have to get Sinhe over to the Zora area. Now, without those flippers, and it's not entirely obvious that Zora is open and is within logic for our runners. So we'll see how, if and when Sinhe heads over there, might be tempted, instead of checking that one-off location way back with the fish, to go to Aga instead. And No Name, without that knowledge of that hammer on Spectacle Rock chest right now, might be getting a little nervous with that cape in his inventory. Looks like we got a 50-50 shot on Moldorm, whether he has the final item of the Tower of Hera.
I wonder if Sinhe is going to check Zora before deciding to go do Aghanim. It would be very disastrous for him if he decides to go to Aghanim.
At this point, with the hammer already in their inventory, there is no other there's no other reason to need to do Aga, so we couldn't even have one of those roundabout, gotta do Aga for that Pyramid Fairy access. And No Name thankfully remembers he's got the mirror in order to progress a little bit further here. No, go up with the mirror. Where's the mirror? Doesn't he have the mirror?
He doesn't. Mirror was in Sahasrara's closet, and he hasn't gone there yet.
Oh, he hasn't done that yet. It's early. It's like 8:22 a.m. here, so that's okay. So he's going to be a little bit disappointed at that hammer. He is thankfully going to go east, so he will be picking up that mirror. Everything's fine as Sinhe picks up the first crystal and is going to head to Eastern Death Mountain.
No Name's going to go to get his mirror and then get back up the mountain.
All right, everything's good. So our runners right now don't have the full pieces of the puzzle that we know that they're about to have. So as far as next steps, what are you thinking? Where do you think they go once they have that Dark World access?
I think most people will start by checking Hype Cave, see if it's hype. And after that they'll go to north of Kakariko, get that portal and do Skull Woods and Thieves Town in one go.
So our runners do have the ability to full clear both of those dungeons. Of course, Skull Woods is a pendant, not even the green pendant at that. And Thieves Town is one of those red crystals. We'll see how far the dip into Skull Woods would go for these runners. We get silvers and the single arrow. So all the tools you need to beat Ganon right there for Sinhe in Paradox Cave. And No Name now knows that he has access to the Dark World. As Sinhe's going to clear out these remaining 5 chests. Just a lot of love so far. Almost at that full row of hearts already. And an extra bottle besides that. So Sinhe running out of locations. Now this is going to be really nervous. He has not been to Zora yet, so he does not have his Moon Pearl.
Let's see where he's going to flew to. If he goes to 2 or 3, 2, no 2, we most likely will get a Zora check. And if not, wait, he's checking in Gina's cave. Let's just hope he doesn't forget about Zora.
Zora is in logic. You can use those gloves to lift up that rock, fluting to, like my colleague alluded to, or you can take Flipper from the southeast from Lake Hylia. That part is obviously not in logic, but with those gloves there, the Zora item is for us. Gonna be disappointed with these 3 bombs as No Name climbs the Tower of Hera. And he can feel there's a little bit of panic on the right side. I don't want to do Aga. I don't want to do Aga. And we're gonna save and quit to the house. And thankfully that fluke comes right out. I was nervous. I was nervous there. So heading to Eastern Palace, going to do a dip into Eastern Palace. This could have some kind of progression in here. Not going to get the Moon Pearl though. And No Name attempts to bomb jump back. Gonna be a little tough with that spark chasing you. Takes a fall. That's all right. So 3 items total here in Eastern Palace. This is a crystal, so without the bow being in here, we will have to come back at some point later in the seed. So double dip is generally something you want to avoid, but this is the higher density of items remaining at this point to Sinhe. Zora obviously going to be a one-off out of the way, and it's something that can be much more efficient later on when you do have that Moon Pearl or those flippers to check the rest of the area. A lot of runners, especially with that mirror in the inventory, want to keep it for checking Quakefish as well at the same time. So thinking ahead, meanwhile, No Name hanging on barely, not even needing that sword, just trying to hammer Moldorm down. Gets 2 shots on Moldorm now, and might have gotten that last pixel on the tail there to get that 3rd hit. So down goes Moldorm. No falls to Moldorm today for either of our runners as they finish Tower of Hera and pick up their first crystal.
And Sinhe just grabbed up his 2nd item in Eastern, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the last item in Eastern right now.
Oh, they got he's got some shots at more items in here, at the final item. 3 items total in Eastern. Showing off a little of those Stalfos strats. Gonna get those 4 Stalfos taken care of with only 2 pots.
And there's the 3rd item. Eastern is totally a bust right now.
So we're going to go pick up the big key in its vanilla location one way or another. You might as well while you're here. It gives you a little bit of extra time to think about what your next move is. Got to make that tough decision. Do we go to Aga or do we go to Zora? Because that's really all that's left at this point. You know, you're running through your mind is what is my opponent going to do? What should I do? Should I just go to Aga right now and save Zora for later? Should I go up? What if Zora does have that all-important item? And it turns out today the correct choice is to go to Zora. There's also something like Hobo available. Hobo will have just a couple of bombs today, but it does have the ability to allow for a sequence break if, say, the pyramid item was flippers and Hobo had Moon Pearl. It would definitely be possible to sequence break around that Aga. Not today, though. We just need to go to... All right, so we're going into the Witch's Hut. This is a good sign. This is a good sign that we're headed to the Zora area. You get a bee in a bottle there, bucko. Nope, not even going to let it free. Wants to keep that bee.
And Sinhe is making the correct play to go to Zora, which is really nice for him.
This is tough. I would not have done this. I'd be climbing Aga Tower right now, and the commentators would be, oh, God, he's dead already. But Sinhe, thankfully, taking the correct routing here. Going up to Zora, No Name, trying to set up the bomb jump. Gets a little bit too far to the left there and takes a fall. So we've got ourselves a race. Now with Dark World access, we'll really have an opportunity to see our runners diverge in their routing. And you were saying Hype Cave is an attractive option. 5 items, pretty close to the Dark World portal, right near Link's house. I gotta say, that is quite the attractive option. Going directly to Village of Outcasts area and dipping into Skull Woods, at least somewhat, as well as Thieves Town, which can be full cleared and does have a crystal. 4 items in Thieves Town, of course, so... We'll see where our runners decide to go now that they both have that access.
It seems like No Name is going to do Spike Cave.
And you know, I like this play on No Name's part. This is a good heads-up play. This is not necessarily an easy place to route in. He does have everything he needs here, hopefully, with that cape. That cape does suck up magic quite quickly, though, and he doesn't have a ton of hearts. So we're going to see if he's got enough. He should have enough magic to be able to get through all of this. Yeah, he's got plenty. And just a piece of heart, unfortunately. But I do like that play. I do like the heads up going in there to check there when you're already up on Death Mountain, when you have the opportunity. And Sinhe indeed going to go right to that Hype Cave. Hype or Gripe, which one do you get today? And we get boots. My goodness, so that's gonna be Hype right there. We don't need any other items from here. That's already worth the trip. That's
our sword upgrade for the rest of the game. We don't need any higher than Master Sword, but it's always nice to have. I feel like Sinhe is going to go right to Stumpy and K45 and then go and get his Master Sword.
Certainly a strong play. Want to pick up that extra offense early. Meanwhile, No Name going to head to the Village of Outcasts instead. So going to be a little while before he gets his boots. But he's going to stop at the bottle vendor on the way by, turn in that golden bee for a little bit of money. Show off a little bit of his knowledge about this game. You can sell that golden bee to that vendor for 100 rupees. Not quite necessary in this scene, with both of our runners being absurdly rich. So Sinhe will have the ability to check both the library item and grab that sword upgrade as well as the dig game. After that, he's going to have to go somewhere else, though, with most likely destination going to be to the Village of Outcasts. Meanwhile, we got a pendant dungeon dip. Pendant dungeon dips seem to be required quite a bit for these V29 seeds, so a lot of our runners are accustomed to dipping into these non-required dungeons. And we're being asked to introduce ourselves again. I'm Walking Eye, and my partner here is Demon's Druid.
Hello. And Sinhe is grabbing up his Master Sword as predicted. And he's going to head up north to... He's activating spin speed and going up north towards Village of Outcasts.
I honestly have no idea. Is it faster to flute there to 3, or is it faster to just run with the boots? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I think it might be fluting up there.
But we're gonna get a Village of Outcasts checked from No Name's side. So No Name, even without those boots, he's gonna be losing a little bit of time for not having those boots the longer this goes. But at the same time, I still like his routing quite a bit. Going over here to Thieves Town pretty early. It is a crystal dungeon you can full clear, and Sinhe not even going to waste time with that Skull Woods check, which did not result in anything for No Name. So we're going to go right over and take care of Thieves Town.
I've always wondered, if you place a Smara block behind you while pulling open the Thieves Town door, will you get stopped by the block or not?
I don't have a clue. That sounds like something for the test round. So we got 4 items inside Thieves Town total. We're going to be picking up all of them more than likely, being so many items away from go mode right now. Big thing we're looking for right now, probably Titan's Mitts. Titan's Mitts opens up quite a bit on this seed, as it always does. Will be required. Also will open up the ability to get some information as far as what medallions are required for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. So we get that small key, so we will be checking that big chest in Thieves Town more than likely here, as nothing good coming out of the town quite yet. And No Name still rocking that level 1 sword. Gonna have a little bit, just a little bit more difficult time with blind. The level 1 sword and the level 2 sword, they do the same amount of damage against blind. However, the level 2 sword is going to have a little bit more range. It has a couple extra pixels on it. So going to be able to just be a little bit easier. And we take the stun prize, and the stun prize is a small magic refill. So that's good to know for later on. So with that little bit extra range, you can be a little bit safer. Although with Blue Mail and a full row of hearts, it looks like our runner should not have any problems with blind at all.
And No Name is getting a bit bullied by the Hellway right there.
Well, they don't call it the Heaven Way.
You might, if he dies in there, he might go to Heaven then.
Picks of those pots in hopes of a heart. Unfortunately, no hearts under those pots today. Or really any day. They're always the same. Down to just 2 hearts now. Got to be a little bit careful on No Name's side. There is going to be a couple of opportunities to pick up a bit of health later on in this dungeon.
And Sinhe got through that Hellway really cleanly. He did, in fact, get the God Pixel.
That's tough to do. I'm busy clenching on the left side of your internet right now with that 1 heart remaining. No Name's going to have to be careful if he doesn't want to take a death here, and he does not want that. He did not pick up any goo like Sinhe did. Sinhe. freezes that red Zazek. Doesn't want to take any of that guy's crap today.
I think he'll, if he knows about it, which he probably does, he will grab the hearts under the skulls right here.
Oh, takes another heart of damage. Is that the Sank Heart? He's get the Sank Heart in Blind Cell. Wow, what timing is that?
That's really nice. And Sinhe has the grey blind right now.
And you can see Sinhe catching up with those boots, just 20 rupees in the big chest, but making up that progress. I think our runners have done basically everything that the other has done, with the exception of No Name has dipped Skull Woods, and Sinhe has been to Hype Cave and to the library. So those boots making quite a bit of difference from Hype Cave. As both of our runners enter the blind fight at approximately the same time. Let's see what pun we got here today. Optometrist says you have vision. I'll leave it as an exercise to the reader to figure out why that's funny.
No Name doesn't get the hit in time, so he does go off script.
Let's get that cape out just in case. And Sinhe also going to end up beating blind on the bottom of the screen there. So a little bit off script for both of our runners. But in the end, both of them are going to hold up that 5-6 crystal above their head and add their second crystal to their collection.
And Sinhe gets that spin speed right there on the entrance of Thieves Town. Not gonna check Bumper Cave, so he's probably going to check Graveyard Ledge.
Not checking Bumper Cave is interesting, especially when he's got access to get that item. So maybe gonna grab this and then head back west, pick up Bumper Cave after this. Meanwhile, No Name gonna head down south. Eventually, this will lead him to Boots. And we'll see what the Spooky Ledge has for us today. A shovel, so we get a little bit of a fetch quest in the Spooky Ledge. Now, it's Sinhe already having done the south of Grove as well as Stumpy. Going to be a little while before it's efficient for him to get back there. And it'll be the same for No Name if No Name ever gets over to the Spooky Ledge.
I feel like Sinhe is going to do Bonk Rocks right now, and then go check Bumper Cave Ledge.
Could be heading back. Ending this in Skull Woods would certainly be an option. Check those overworld spots. We get the hook shot inside Bonk Rock, so that's going to be a very strong pickup. So we do have confirmation that boots are required. Not that you're ever going to turn away boots. Like, even when they're not required, you still want to see them on your screen. And we get some powder here, so another fetch quest, also a very welcome safety. Why are we mirroring? What are we doing? Oh, we're going back. Mirror was not the correct option there.
And it seems like IhavenonameSDA is going to pick up his boots right now. Once he breaks open that entrance.
He will certainly be relieved to see that. And puts on his new footwear right away. As Sinhe picks up the powder.
that we now have 2 fetch quest items already. Just one more, if I remember correctly. No, wait. Can you count book as a fetch quest item?
Right now, the book would serve as a progressive item because you would get access to Desert Palace, even though Desert's a pendant. No, I don't really count it as a fetch quest item. Fetch quest item is really like a 1-for-1 and doesn't do anything outside of that, really. So, like, you can go the whole game without the powder, and it's fine. So, a little bit of a fetch quest there. Same thing with the shovel. You can go the whole game without the shovel. So, No Name going to head back up into this Village of Outcasts portal. As Sinhe does indeed take that dip into Skull Woods. We'll see how far he goes. Sinhe has the opportunity to go through the entirety of Skull Woods, actually, and pick up 2 items. I don't believe both items were found in here by No Name. And Sinhe not checking, did he not check that east side there? That eastern room next to the big chest? I don't think he did.
He did. Yeah, he did. He did.
Oh, I completely missed it then. So just a 5 rupees so far from Skull Woods for Sinhe as he gets grabbed by the Wall Master. And not this time, though. So picking up that small key right there, it looks like we are going to head into Skull 3. Not a common option, but once that second item does have the ability, knows it's in logic, might as well check to see if it's there with the mirror in that chest you can see right on your screen now. And No Name going to pick up his hook shot right here, so that'll be a relief. No Name a little bit behind Sinhe at this point, just a little bit. Not anything that's going to say either of our runners are out of it. Still a lot of opportunity here for divergence in routing. So where do you think our runners are going to be heading next?
Without bow, not to Palace of Darkness nor Eastern. We don't have Flipper, so no Swamp yet.
Options are kind of limited without those Titans mitts, especially. So Sinhe gonna take the gamble that Mothula is in fact holding something.
I think I myself would go to Palace of Darkness. Without the bow, we might get bow locked, but I think it's the best choice right now, as we don't have access to any other than, well, we have access but to Eastern, but there's no items anymore. So I think it's either overworld locations or Palace of Darkness, where, well, it has to be, but I myself would go to Palace of Darkness, even though it's the green pendant.
So just 20 rupees from Mothula. So that was that second item in Skull Woods. Nothing doing there. No Name thinking, I don't want to waste my time with a pendant boss. We're going to go check overworld locations. Going to go and do that shovel spot. Palace of Darkness, with that bottle in their possession, going to be able to, with the aid of minor glitches, clear out the dungeon entirely except for the boss. And No Name gonna tie in the shovel spot with that library check.
And Sinhe is going to grab his magic bed item. Let's see what the magic bed will curse us with today. Will it be a good curse or a bit worse curse?
What would be an example of a good curse? Like, can you get cursed and have it be a positive thing? Like, oh man, I'm so excited I got this curse. But he's got a flippers today, so I guess flippers is a good curse, right? So flippers, that's definitely progression there.
That is
gonna open up a couple of items.
That's Swamp Palace access, and we can full clear it. So right now, I'd go to Swamp.
So Swamp, worth 6 items and that second red crystal, so we'll also open up that pyramid item. In addition, we'll have those 2 items in the Waterfall of Wishing open up, and looks like both of our runners are thinking the same thing. Sinhe's going to go and pick up that dig spot item, not going to go directly to Swamp Palace, so we'll see. We'll see. We do have still a little bit of options here. We can still see that pod dip somewhere. A little bit of swag with the shovel dash here.
And Sinhe is not looking to 4 to get into that portal quick. He instead opts to just walk all the way. And No Name is going to check Waterfall Fairy Cave.
And wishing something better was there, because just some rupees and a piece of heart. And as much as you want to go mode Swamp Palace, with 6 items being available at this point in the seed, it is by far the highest density of items. So this is the most efficient for our runners. They do have the hammer, they do have the hookshot, they do have the flippers. That means a full clear of Swamp Palace is in order. And Sinhe's going to be the first inside, while No Name going to take his portal down to flood that dam and get inside himself. So I find it pretty likely we're going to get progression in here. It's just a matter of whether or not we're going to see anybody skip the left side of Swamp. I'm inclined to say nobody's going to skip it. Our runners have been pretty thorough and shown a willingness to be thorough. And with so many items away from go mode, I mean, we need the bow, we need the ice rod, we need Cane of Samaria. That could be it, actually. So 3 items away from go mode with 6 in here. It's really, really tough to pass up those 2 items on the left side. So not a lot to say about Swamp Palace. Swamp Palace is what the second Dark World crystal that the game expects you to get. So you are expected to have green mail at this point. You are expected to just have Master Sword at this point. So nothing terribly scary inside this dungeon. Sword upgrade would be nice for Argus, of course. But this is just going to come down to execution here. We'll see if either of our runners can put a little distance between themselves and their opponent. And Sinhe going to skip that left side, at least for now, and go right to the back. I'm not a huge fan of this play when you're missing 3 items from go mode. Or even when you're missing 2 items from go mode. I know it's kind of slow to get over there, but it's never going to be more efficient than it is now, and it is going to be quite a bit of items. The odds that you're not coming back seem pretty small, so if you're going this way that Sinhe is, I got to think that you're going to want to entirely skip out on it. We'll see if No Name is going to do the same thing, or if No Name is going to go over and find something good over there.
I think... Oh, and there's Tempered. I'm a bit key. Well, your wish came true. We have Tempered before Argus.
That's beautiful. So we see these stairs, and Sinhe success. That's my favorite trick in this whole game, is the ability to go on those stairs and actually make them behave properly. So just 20 rupees in the big chest. And it looks like No Name's going to do the same thing. Head over to there. So those stairs that you'll see, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to watch it again on No Name's screen. If you go up them for the first time, they are glitched. They are bugged, and they will make it so when you press anything, any direction, you'll just head right back down them, and then you'll have to go back up them. However, there is a way to get up them the first time successfully. Titan's Mitts in the waterfall, so we've got our progression. Maybe we will not see that left side of swamp for either our runner at this point. Anyway, with those stairs, if you key dash to them, which means you dash into that stairway from a multiple of 4 pixels away, and then you hold down left before you press down to exit the stairs, you will exit the stairs successfully. That is one of the more annoying things about this game, is just that straight up bug on those stairs, and the ability to get around it is it feels really good. It's a very simple trick, doesn't save you a whole lot of time, doesn't come up every run or anything, but that's my favorite trick in the game.
Really nice and quick Argus eyeball fight right now.
So let's see if Sinhe can get that quick kill. Doesn't quite get it, only 1 fire rod shot. Tries again, nothing doing. Just 1 more spin though. Well, 2 more spins though, and gets it. No Name's gonna have the chance to get that same quick kill. And just gonna go for the old-fashioned spin attack. So only 2 spins needed, and Sinhe is not coming back in. We'll see if No Name decides to come back in. With those Titan's Mitts in hand, I'm inclined to go somewhere else at this point.
I think Sinhe is going to go and blow up the Pyramid Ferry wall and go to there, and after which probably Ice Palace?
Oh, I wouldn't go to Ice Palace. The first place I'd be going is I would be going to get the information about what medallions are required. So I'd be going straight to Mire. Checking to see what's on Mire, and then I'd be going up to Death Mountain. Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave have quite a bit of items themselves. I know you can't enter Turtle Rock, and I know you can't complete Mire at this point without that red cane, but I would still want that information to know if Bombos is going to put me into go mode or if it's not going to be necessary. So this is going to be a pretty significant piece of route divergence here on No Name's side. He's going to go and check the left side of swamp. Meanwhile, we get just a piece of heart on the pyramid ledge. Let's see what's inside. Just some more hearts. So nothing doing for the pyramid fairy. This is probably a check No Name's going to make, though, so no real time loss on Sinhe's side for that check.
And it seems like Sinhe is going to go to catch fish and probably do Waterfall Cave afterwards.
I can't say I'm a fan of this routing on No Name's side. I'm very excited to see if it's going to pay off for him or not. But if you know you're going to be checking this no matter what, if you know you're going to be checking the left side no matter what, it is much more efficient to just do it right off the bat. And when you're missing so many items from go mode, I think it's got to be worth it to do it while you're doing the rest of Swamp. If you're only 1 item away, or maybe even 2 items away, I can see skipping left side of Swamp. But if you're gonna do it, just do it in the beginning.
And also, if there's an item on the left side of Swamp, how long will it take before Sinhe is going to check it?
Well, we got 1 chest left with just that compass there, and just a piece of heart. So, just a waste of time on the left side of Swamp. There's certainly a possibility that there is still that one, item that is elusive towards the end of the seed, and Sinhe does come back in hopes to find it there. But right now, that's looking at like a strict time loss for No Name. And No Name indeed going to head to that Pyramid Fairy as Sinhe. Didn't Sinhe do this?
I don't think so. I think No Name did it.
I thought both of our runners did this. Maybe I'm going insane.
Apparently not.
Well, either way, 3 bombs.
And it looks like Sinhe is going to do the Ice Palace play.
So 3 items inside Ice Palace. We do have the ability to full clear it. It is a crystal, so certainly not a bad option. However, Ice Palace is a dungeon where if you're able to go through it without needing to collect any items, so when you're in go mode, it could be a significant difference in time. So Sinhe decides this is probably where the progression is. We're looking for too many items right now to be able to say that this is going to be go modable.
It also all depends on where No Name is going to go right after his catfish check. If he decides to go to the Mire area, check checkerboard and the medallion with the shed, he might go into Mire and find his bow there and be more towards go mode than Sinhe.
Yeah, Ice Palace is definitely a place where No Name could pick up some of that lost time here on Sinhe. He could get a go mode ice if there's nothing in here. We've already seen one item, just a single rupee on that first chest in Ice Palace on Sinhe's side. And he is indeed going to at least check the Mire area. He will also have access to Desert Palace should he want to dip in there. And not even a check of the medallion quite yet. We're going inside. We're going inside the shed first. Sinhe gets that bomb jump, no problems. We get a book on the left side, so that could certainly have the possibility of leading to something.
It opens up the knowledge of the pedestal and 2 locations right now.
So with that Dark World portal right on the edge there, I don't know if he's going to be able to go back into that Dark World portal. Just 3 bombs in Checkerboard Cave, and it was quick to open up Mire. And we see that second item on Sinhe's side, just 20 rupees.
No Name decides to go into Desert Palace. If this will be a pedestal seed, it must be either the cane or ice rod, if I remember, if my memory serves me right.
Certainly couldn't be Bo with that Palace of Darkness crystal pendant, rather, sitting there. And there's nothing really else required for this seed as far as we know. Could be a Bombos requirement as well, but I think we're pretty far from considering a pedestal check at this point. So 2 items in Desert Palace, first of which is going to be that piece of heart. We're up to 15 hearts now on the left of your internet. And just a 50-50 here. And nothing. So it looks like Landmo has that last item. And we're going to go find out what that is. So No Name going to take that gamble into Desert Palace. Wants to avoid Ice Palace, I guess. I think this Desert Palace play, I think it was good right up until you're fighting the boss. I do not like fighting pendant bosses. And we'll see each of our runners now fight a pendant boss in an effort to get that extra item and full clear out a dungeon. I'd much rather go where the item density is, either Ice Palace, which has 3 items and a crystal that you need, or up to Death Mountain, where you get those 4 items inside Hookshot Cave, 2 items in Super Bunny Cave, and of course Ether Tablet, as well as the knowledge of what medallion is required to open up Turtle Rock. And there's that final item in Ice Palace. So Ice Palace, a whole lot of nothing. Ice Palace will be go-modable. Should No Name decide to force that and avoid checking it until the last possible moment.
But it also might be a time sink from No Name. Yeah, it's a time sink from No Name to go into Desert. So
absolutely,
if Sinhe doesn't go into Desert, he might save up the time loss he got from full clearing Ice Palace.
And a very nice Cold Stare kill on the right side from Sinhe, able to keep Cold Stare, all those puffs in the corner, and get that kill. It's also interesting to note there was a small key on Cold Stare himself, which means the red cane was actually required for Ice Palace completion. So you can cross... Well, I guess you can't really say anything about where the red cane is, because there was nothing of value inside Ice Palace. So, yeah, there's absolutely no information to be gained there. It's just interesting. Nice work.
It seems like No Name is going to go and open up... check Ether Tablet and then open up Turtle Rock.
Just a bug net on the Ether Tablet as Sinhe notices that it is Quake to open up Mire. And getting a little bit of Dead Rock luck there. And just going to take a beating from these Dead Rocks until they're done. Can use the powder to get them out of the way, but wow, that Dead Rock is out for blood. And Sinhe wants nothing to do with Desert Palace. He's going to flute right out of there, go up to Death Mountain as well, so... Going to work out very nicely for him. He's going to get a little bit of Dead Rock problems on his own here.
And Turtle Rock was Bombos, so we have another item on our go mode list.
So we're looking for Bow, we're looking for Ice Rod, we're looking for Bombos, we're looking for Red Cane. So 4 items away from go mode still. Chat shouting, praying, hoping that there's something on the pedestal. You guys are mean. It is definitely a possibility, though. We could see Red Cane, we could see Ice Rod, we could see Bombos in that all important pedestal spot. But we're gonna hold off on that. We're gonna see what these items are first of all. Nothing doing in Hookshot Cave or Super Bunny Cave as of yet. And Red Mail, while it's not unwelcome, it is not what we wanted to see at this point. So decision time for No Name. We're going to Ice Palace. We're going to take that dip in a mire, maybe a dip in a pod. We'll see. And we're heading back to the Village of Outcasts. So this tells me Smith sequence. We'll have quite a few items here to check. We'll be able to tie this in with the Bombos tablet at the very end. That's 1. We get the actual Smith item, as well as the purple chest. That's 3 total. And Hammerpeg Cave, so that's 4. No check of the pedestal on the way by. So no real opportunity to send the frog on a world tour today. We're just going to go right home here. We might get a little bit of a check at the... you might get a peek inside that Hammerpeg Cave. And these dashes are fantastic to watch. So this is a glitch exclusive to the Japanese 1.0 version of the game, which is part of the reason we use this in the randomizer rather than the 1.1 or 1.2 English versions. And we get the bow in the Hammerpeg Cave, so that's progression right there. So we're going to have the ability to finish off Eastern Palace, which No Name hasn't even touched, as well as dip in a pod and possibly full clear pod. That is fantastic. So we'll see if we even spend the time here to do the purple chest here, or if we're going to be or if No Name's going to be satisfied with that bow as part of this trip over here. Just 20 rupees from the Smiths. And back into the Dark World, that tells me we are going to grab that purple chest. Once you're committed to a route, it's really difficult to change your mind about it. Got to skip out on that Bombos tablet, though. We're just going to flute right over to turn that chest in. Going to 4, a bold strategy. 7's a little bit closer. Oh, we're going right back into the Dark World. Sinhe going to take out that cape and go into get his piece of heart in Spike Cave. So Sinhe with many fewer options at this point because he's already got that clear of Ice Palace. We'll see where he ends up going instead. I gotta think Smith Sequence is another good option. A dip of Mire or a dip of Pod are really the other 2 plays here. And it is going to be that Smith sequence. We'll see if we get a pedestal check first. I know chat is begging to see it at this point. And no pedestal check first. Just 5 arrow capacity upgrade on the left side of your internet. We're going right back for that Bombos tablet, though. See if the ancestors hid anything good on that tablet. They certainly didn't up on the mountain. We'll see if they did here in the desert. Just a piece of heart. So our runner's with plenty of health now, especially with that red mail on both sides. And Sinhe's not going to be too far behind picking up his bow here. So as far as who's ahead right now, it looks like I'm going to give Sinhe the edge just because of that extra crystal in Ice Palace, even though No Name should have a little bit of an easier time here. We got No Name going back up to the Village of Outcasts. I'm not sure what this check is. It looks like he's going back to Skull Woods. Still 1 item in Skull Woods for him. He could be going to check that. It is on Mothula. It is a pile of garbage, so we don't need to get it. However, this is going to give him the opportunity to also do a pedestal check. So if he does the pedestal check, sees that it's required, he's going right to Mothula. If not, he has a decision to make. Does he want to see what that item is on Mothula and get the kill on the pendant boss, which would be his 2nd pendant boss kill? Or does he want to just gamble that it's nothing and get out of here? He also hasn't checked this item, I believe. Gonna take a fire rod right to these Gibdos. Doesn't want to deal with them. There's a full magic refill basically in his way up here. And Sinhe gonna take the long walk around with that purple chest. No Name, aware of where that full magic refill is, gonna bomb that wall. It's important. It's really useful to be aware of your surroundings, even if you don't see every single room, every single game. It's really good to take a run or 2 and just explore. And looks like No Name wants nothing to do with the rest of that. Not even gonna get a pedestal check. So. Chat getting their hopes up. Oh, no, we got the big key. We're not going inside. We're going to do a bomb jump instead over there. So it is faster to do this bomb jump here if you can get it first try, and No Name does. Meanwhile, Sinhe going to be disappointed at the piece of heart on Bombo's tablet. So No Name really looking for an excuse to not do Mothula if possible. He's going to be faced with that tough decision, though, as Mothula does have that last item in here. It is nothing. Again, it is nothing. You can skip it. But we'll see if the pedestal allows for that possibility.
I think if I was No Name, well, if I was in his position, I would go into Palace of Darkness before finishing off Skull Woods, as there's more items in there left. But he's mirroring over to get a pet check. Let's see. Are we going to get a Mothula and... oh, no, just Rupee Horde. So no pedestal seed.
So I'm not opposed to going through the Skull Woods check. I would have liked to... Oh, and he's going right to Mothula. He's not even getting that chest down there. That's very surprising. So we know that the pedestal is not required. We know that there is something in Skull 3 here. Not necessarily even on Mothula at this point. It could be in that last chest down there. But No Name going to do this. Maybe he's confused and thinks that this is a crystal dungeon. Either way, Sinhe is going to head into Pendant Pod. Has the ability to full clear it.
Right now, either Meyer or Palace of Darkness has to have progression.
Meyer with just 2 items and possibly only 1 available without that red cane. Meanwhile, Palace of Darkness has 5 items total. A 6th if you count that green pendant. And No Name going to take on the Mothman. Does have that red mail. Does have a fairy in his inventory that he picked up. Where did he pick that up? He picked that up on Landmo. And down goes Mothula. So Mothula being able to tank a little bit extra damage. Gets the bad news, though, that it's just 20 rupees. Meanwhile, Sinhe going to take those small keys in Palace of Darkness and put them to good use here. So again, we're looking for Bombos, we're looking for Red Cane, we're looking for Ice Rod.
And No Name is going to go to Palace of Darkness. I'm probably going to do the mirror strats, which Sinhe is obviously going to do as well, to get back to the light world to do Eastern.
So Sinhe a little bit ahead at this point, has a lead that seems to be widening as this race goes on. But with still 3 items away from go mode, this is far from over, certainly. And with 4 small keys and only 3 doors only 4 doors left, we have all of the small keys for Palace of Darkness. So lots of goodies left here. No Name hasn't been to Eastern at all yet, so good idea to clear out these 3 items before heading into Palace of Darkness, just in case those 3 items happen to be the 3 that you need. And we get the Red Cane in the pod basement, as well as a small shield. Red Cane definitely much more important, though.
It opens up Misery Mire and Turtle Rock for us right now. That's a lot more items. I think 5 in Turtle Rock and 2 in Misery Mire, so that's 7 items.
Plus the extra in Mimic Cave, as well as the possibility that there's something on Trinex. So we'll take half an item off of that. So the big question is, with that red cane in his possession, will Sinhe fight the Helmosaur King? I would be inclined to get out. And we do know Helma has an item. We do have both the map and the compass in our inventory. And now we're going. We're going to go fight the Helmosaur King. Get that extra 2 items, one with the green pendant, one with whatever helmet happens to be holding. As No Name heads to pick up his vanilla big key. Now, if I'm either of these runners, I'm feeling quite a bit behind just because of all the unnecessary things that these runners have ended up doing that have taken time. Including the full clear of Ice Palace when there was absolutely nothing there. So you got to be worried that your opponent's going to do a Go Mode Ice Palace on the right side, as well as killing Mothula was completely unnecessary. And even though Sinhe doesn't have the knowledge that there's nothing on the pedestal, he's got to be thinking with so much open to him by that red cane that it was in fact not necessary. So I'm feeling behind if I'm Sinhe, even though he does have a reasonable lead right now. And if I'm No Name, I'm also feeling behind with that kill of Desert, kill of Mothula, both of which proved to be unnecessary. So we're going to see what the Helmosaur King has for us today. Going to be 17 shots with the hammer to take off that mask. Sinhe, a lot of runners like to hold their sword out to kind of guide them, and I don't know if it extends the hitbox of the hammer or what, but definitely the more reliable but slower way, whereas this is the more speed-running way. Going to take out silver arrows, and with a smooch to the dome, down goes the Helmosaur King. Meanwhile, these silver arrows going to take care of the Armos Knights on the left side pretty easily. And we'll see what the first of the 2 items Helmosaur's locking is, and it's just a 5 arrow capacity upgrade. Those drop, the pendant and the crystal drops, those are completely in sync on both sides. That's beautiful.
Sinhe, I think they are gonna swap dungeons right now, but Sinhe is going to go out of his dungeon much faster than No Name. And he will probably go to Mire after this. Or yeah, I think Mire before Turtle Rock.
Absolutely. Mire, you know you can full clear. You know you're going to have to hunt for that big key anyway, so you're probably going to pick up at least one of those items inside there along the way. There's not too much difference between Go Mode Mire and a full clear Mire. So Mire is certainly the play right now. Can't get into Turtle Rock quite yet, remember. We still need that Bombos medallion.
Yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about that. Not gonna open up the big chest because it just has a compass or a map.
So our runners just kind of following each other's footsteps at this point. The big questions that we're going to answer coming up soon here is, what does Frahasla have? Is it required? And will No Name get it? Will No Name go and fight the Helmosaur King? He's already fought Landmo. He's already fought Mothula. This will be the 3rd pendant dungeon for him. So he might say, no, this really hasn't worked out for me. I cannot afford this. Or he might say, well, I'm here. It's never going to be more efficient, and it will be 2 items total to kill the Helmasaur King. So it's definitely a tough decision. Never going to be over until your opponent is not done. But at 120, still being 3 items away from go mode, he's got to be running out of locations here. And Sinhe picks up his next crystal. That's 5 on the right side of your internet, just 2 left. Has the ability to get at least 1 more right now, but still needs Bombos plus Ice Rod. Picks up a bomb in order to walk over his portal. As long as you have something over your head, you cannot enter the Dark World in a portal that you left behind. Why not? I have no idea. What a video game we're playing.
Let's see Sahasrara's item, and it's just 3 bombs and a Rage Slash to his face. This will mean that Meyer probably has the Bombos medallion. I can't think of an overall location that hasn't been checked yet.
We're certainly running low on overworld locations. I think you might be correct. That might be it. So, gonna use Quake here. That bird does not care about earthquakes. He is flying up high, and he's gonna body Sinhe on the way through here. Sinhe's already taken some damage from that thing. He just doesn't realize it yet.
And No Name just grabbed his King of Samaria.
Oh, just misses the 1 cycle on those Wizrows with that Fire Rod. Very well done, though, getting the 2 cycle. Although in these later matches, we gotta start calling it more up to standards of what the NMG tournament has. You know what I completely missed? I completely missed if you set up the what are we calling the new glitch? What are we calling it? We're calling it like the altitude glitch or something? I completely missed if you set it up or not. Who saw? Somebody in chat saw. So the new altitude glitch, while we're in here, it involves setting an altitude variable using one of the. Oh, there we go. Spooky action glitch. Yeah, there you go. So thank you very much for Helmasaur King getting that information out there. The way to set it up is when you are fluting to Meyer, you're going to enter the Dark World at a little different way. You're going to kind of pick up that rock from the bottom in order to enter the Dark World, in order to get that swag duck to fly just a little bit further off your screen, get a little bit different of an altitude value. But I have no idea if it. Yeah, no, I love the name Spooky Action. We need more spooky related things in this video game. So nothing doing in Meyer so far, as No Name's going to make his way to Helmasaur King and find nothing but disappointment. So this is gonna feel pretty bad for No Name's side, and even on Sinhe's side, killing multiple pendant bosses with no reward whatsoever.
And Sinhe is going to go to the big key chest. And it just has shield upgrade.
So it is one of the 2 items inside here, but it is not a progression item of any kind. So we're 124 in. We're still 2 items away from go mode here. And No Name going to do those same strats on Helmasaur King.
If Sinhe doesn't pick up bombos here, where could it be?
Well, it's in the big chest, so we don't have to worry about where else it could be. Because it's right there. It's in his inventory. He's got it. We are now one item away from go mode.
Probably after killing Vitrius, he will, well, probably, he will most likely go full clear Turtle Rock, and No Name has to go to Mire right now. After which he also still has to do his go mode. Well, he might go mode it, but he could also not. Depends on if he goes to Turtle Rock before Ice Palace, but he might go mode Ice Palace.
So it looks like we have no spooky action set up on the right side of your screen. There would have been a little bit of dashing before placing that Samaria block down. And it looks like, even though we're not in go mode yet, we sort of are. We pretty much have it narrowed down where the ice rod is. And even if it should be somewhere like, for example, the mushroom is on Laser Bridge and the witch has the ice rod, like it's still, it's very linear from here on out. So we're not in go mode quite yet, but we are in go mode. It's close enough. So it looks like we're getting no spooky action on either side of your screen today. That's unfortunate. It's not too difficult. And it can save, I think it's like 10 seconds. But it looks cool. It looks really cool. So, those silver arrows against Vitrius. Doing some work. Meanwhile, we're going to take out Ether against these Withrows. Still doesn't quite get the one cycle there, as Sinhe is now just one crystal away from being able to enter Ganon's tower.
Nice.
Oh, Sinhe hasn't checked desert yet. That's right. So we still do have a little bit of, yeah, we actually have, so it's linear in the fact that I'm a commentator and I get to watch both screens. It is not linear for either of our runners. So we have Sinhe hasn't checked desert yet and actually doesn't know what's on the pedestal. So he might be thinking, oh, geez, what if that ice rod's on the pedestal? Meanwhile, No Name actually still has all of Ice Palace to clear out. So doesn't have the information that Ice Palace is full of garbage. And he could be thinking that does have that ice rod.
I personally think if I were in Sinhe's shoes, I'd go to Turtle Rock before checking desert. Even though I was literally there, I'd still go to Turtle Rock before desert.
I wouldn't kill Landmo here, but I would be tempted to go into desert, certainly. It depends on how behind I'm feeling. I think I'm going to agree with you. I would be going, at this point, directly to Turtle Rock. I would be feeling behind, and I would want to gamble that those, somewhere in Turtle Rock, it's got to be there. But Sinhe going to be a little bit more thorough. Check this wall this year. But this desert check, which he is doing, is going to be... And it looks like he is going to go fight Landmo. Wow. So we have both of our runners fighting all three pendant bosses completely unnecessarily. That is not something you see very often. And we see some runners in chat even saying whether or not they would agree or disagree with this routing. If you're looking at a chance to learn this, definitely come check it out. It is a little bit intimidating to watch, especially when you're watching runners that are still alive for the brackets here. But we have an entire community of support for you. We have a ton of people willing to help out on the Discord, so definitely come over and join our Discord, pick up this game, and give it a shot. We'll help you out. We'll get you started. What's the command to link to that? There it is. So play yourself. That command right at the end is the website, and that'll get you started. As Sinhe takes those silver arrows to Lanmo's face and picks up his fairy in a bottle. So nothing doing for him. Now he doesn't know what's at the pedestal, so we might see a blind pull of the pedestal here one way or another. No Name, little low on hearts going into Victory. It's going to be a little bit nervous. He does have that powder though right before for this anti-fairy. And we see in chat one of the least helpful members of our community, Andy, bragging about how he doesn't help people. Shoutouts to not helping people. Just one heart left on No Name's side. Gonna drink that blue goo now. I'm surprised we didn't get that anti-fairy powdered there, but we don't need it. We got full health. And we are going to get a pedestal check from Sinhe. Is it going to be a blind pull, or are we going to pull out that book first? It's got to be a blind pull at this point, right?
And
it's just a blind pull. He's going to get very disappointed at this rupee hoard. But at least we got our pedestal wish. And No Name knows that there's still an item sitting in that vanilla big key chest, so he's going to head right back into Mire after getting his crystal. And Sinhe, the only place left is Bombo, is to use that Bombos to get into Turtle Rock. So at this point, I got to say, Sinhe has a pretty comfortable lead. It's going to be quite a tall order for No Name to catch up here. So it's looking like Sinhe's going to be able to move on and keep his bracket hopes alive. Able to sneak past that dead rock on the way to Turtle Rock. Already has the portal open, of course, for when we checked Death Mountain earlier. And No Name actually skipped out on more than one chest here. But gets taken care of the second time around. Man, I'm disappointed we didn't get to see any spooky action. So we got 5 items in Turtle Rock, not counting whatever's on Trinex, as well as 1 item in Mimic Cave. The Ice Rod is certainly in one of those locations. No Name going to get disappointed at his fire shield here. So No Name's going to have to head to Ice Palace now, or Turtle Rock. That's all that's left on his side. Meanwhile, we're going to need at least 1 small key from these 2 chests on the right side of Turtle Rock at the beginning here. And No Name is indeed going to do that full clear of ice. So this is just going to put Sinhe even further ahead at this point. And that Ice Rod right away. So not even a question. We are in go mode at 133, I don't know, 52.
This will be a 12 dungeons seed.
Yeah, but it didn't have to be.
Wait, no, 10. 10 dungeons seed. Not counting Aghanim's Tower nor Ganon's Tower.
And Sinhe playing games with those chain chomps gets the job done without taking any hit damage from them. So, if you're Sinhe, are you feeling ahead or behind at this point?
With all the extra checks he did, I think he's feeling behind.
I have to agree with that assessment here. He will not need to get this chest, whatever it is, on the vanilla big key chest.
He's probably
so we'll see if he just skips out of here, and he is indeed.
He is.
So good heads up play there.
Let's see if he still checks other locations or if he's going straight to the right after this room. He is going to check. Wait. Yeah, he is going to check Mimic Cave and probably the big chest as well.
Like the vanilla big chest. Did your stream just die? Mine died. Am I still here?
For me, you're still here. My stream did indeed buffer right now.
Alright, we're going. I have no idea what was in the big chest.
I missed it as well.
But we're back, we're live, and we're moving on here. So we have all the keys we need, apparently, on Sinhe's side. As No Name makes his way through Ice Palace. Thank you, chat, for confirming that I am still here. I wasn't sure where I was for a minute.
Well, we weren't in the game at least.
And a couple people in chat just joining us, looking, wondering what's up with that tie on Sinhe's side. So earlier in the tournament, there was a mutual forfeit. I'm not sure exactly what that was due to, whether it be a scheduling issue or there was a tie and they couldn't get a reschedule or what exactly happened. But the result of it was that Sinhe does have a tie on his record. You can get a tie in this tournament via finishing within 3 seconds of your opponent. However, I don't think there is much danger of that today. And we're going to go for backdoor strats here against Trinex. So this is what you'd see most likely in a no major glitches run. You're still going to result in a one cycle, but it's still going to be much faster than waiting for those heads to pop out. So very nice phase one of Trinex for Sinhe. We'll see if he can finish the job, and he gets that double hit on Trinex. Ooh, doesn't quite get it though.
And once, well, right now we're gonna start the Ganon's Tower big key guessing game. We have 22 locations where the big key can be. If you have donated 1,250 bits to any of the speed gaming channels or are a subscriber of any of the channels, you put a number in between 1 and 22 in the chat. The first person to guess the right number based on Sinhe's checks will be put on a leaderboard.
So the guesses are coming in fast and furious already here on Speed Gaming. Do you have a guess before we enter this tower here?
I always stick with 11 or 14. I'm sticking with 14 this race.
So we'll see if Sinhe goes to the left or the right. A number of routing options here in Ganon's Tower. Generally, the accepted most common strat is going to be go to the right, grab those two chests, and then go full left side. A lot of runners do like to do their own variations on this routing, though. So we're going to at least start the vanilla way. We'll see what's going on after this. How do we stop the game?
Like that.
All right, there we go. Beautiful. So we are going to go full right side here, as we did pick up a small key in one of those first two chests.
Well, I don't think we won't get a tile room check.
No, nobody likes tile room.
We do have 2 locations right now checked.
And No Name going to be heading up to Turtle Rock with that 6th crystal in his possession.
Chests 3 through 5 are not. Wait, 3 through 6 are not the big key, so we will be heading left side.
Did have the option to continue on that right side and go all the way to Ice Armos directly. Chose not to. Just 100 rupees on the torch there, so that's 7.
Eight through 11 are coming up right now in the Stelphos room.
And nothing doing in the Stalfos room, so that's 11 chests down out of 22. We are halfway. And 12, just 20 rupees in the Firebar room. Pulls out that blue boomerang. We're going to get some NMG strats here.
Blue boomerang, best boomerang, as always.
And nicely done.
And we will be coming up on chest 12 right now.
No, it was 13.
I was already thinking in my head, wait, was it 12?
Now I'm recounting. Hang on. Yeah, that was 13. 14 is a piece of heart. 15 blue goo. 16 blue cane. 17 blue rupee.
That was a blue room. And we do have a full menu right now. This means that if Sinhe had just continued his right side gamble, or well, it's not a gamble, his right side path, he would have gotten the big key earlier than this.
Well, you know what they say, hindsight is 50-50, so we did not have that knowledge. We picked up the butter sword, though, in that, what is it, 19th chest? No, it's like the 17th chest. Good at math is me. Silver Arrows taking care of Ice Armos pretty quickly. We are all geared up, though, for the end of this game. And 21 today. 21. So we got 21. My goodness. So how do we do that?
I'll do it.
Hey, at least a couple people in chat caught my 2020 50-50 joke. Glad somebody's paying attention. So we're gonna go head up. This is just purely execution now, pretty much on both sides for the rest of this game, and Sinhe has a significant lead. So we're going to watch him show off his Ganon's Tower strats. Makes pretty quick work of those mimics as he key dashes into that big key door.
And congratulations to Seriux for guessing 22, which was the closest to our real chest it was, which was 21.
I like 21. I really like when it's key 21 because it gives the opportunity for route divergence and routing to matter. And it lets us see all of Ganon's Tower, and it lets us skip the tile room because nobody likes a tile room. So we're going to see some fire rod strats here from Sinhe with that half magic here and that extra blue goo, actually. We're going to get a lot of extra fire rod shots here. So, ooh, nice shot from across the room on that Gauntlet 3. Making quick work of this Gauntlet. Dashes right through. That Butter Sword helping out a lot, as well as that half magic and fire rod. Sliding across the ice, right on through. We don't need this bunny beam. We're just going to pull out the bow and take another shot at Landmo here.
I got it. Another shot. Wow.
And 3 arrows and 3 kills. Beautiful Landmo too. Very nice Ganon's Tower so far from Sinhe. And No Name going to pick up his 20 rupees in the big chest here. Gets the 1 cycle on that second Wizrobe room. Always looking good. I'll admit it's not too difficult of a trick, but it does make you feel like you're cheating. It's a fantastic thing. No Name, little low on magic, might not have enough for this next shot here. Oh, he's got just enough. Takes a little bit of a wrong turn in this room to begin with, though. As Sinhe manages to not despawn Ganon's Tower, so everything's fine. Plenty of keys, doesn't need to do anything in this room. Just bomb that wall.
And he already has Red Mail, Butter Sword, and Silver, so he doesn't even have the need to check anything else.
Not even a possibility of getting that 4th bottle. Already has all 4 in his inventory. Besides, he's got plenty of health. Just a spin and a slash from that Butter Sword. Gonna get us over the Moldorm 2 gap. Not wasting time with the Moldorm 2 chest. Don't blame him. Let's go.
That's the dash. That's really nice to do. And off to Aga 2 we go. Really nice pattern. Gets a 2 hit right there.
We need 6 total. No Name's gonna have to deal with a little bit of ice on the ground for his Trinex fight here. But kills that second ice head.
That was the 4th hit if I saw it correctly. But doesn't get a hit there. That's sad. Those balls were shot at Ron Aghanim clone. Well, it was shot at the clone.
And the longer this fight... Oh, never mind. We're done. We're done with Aga 2. We're on to the big pig.
And No Name defeats Trinex and is off to Ganon's Tower himself.
And both of our runners certainly looking over constantly, every chance they get at that race screen to see if their opponent has finished. We are in the end game now. So both of our runners going to be able to sub to this seed. But it's just a question of how quickly Sinhe is going to be able to take this home. With that Butter Sword making quick work again, and in phase 1, we're going to get to phase 2 here quickly, and we've got plenty of hits to advance ourselves to phase 3. And Ganon starts his warping nonsense. It looks like No Name's going to take the same routing, at least initially, through Ganon's Tower, so he's going to get a 21 key as well, unless he decides to go full right. And did you find those silver arrows on Death Mountain? Yes, we did.
Does not get the torch glitch.
Doesn't want it. Sets up the nice double, maybe even a triple. Barely doesn't get it. Gets that final 4th hit, though. And we're going to get some GGs in chat for Sinhe, taking his record up to 4-1-1 as he steps through to that Triforce room.
And he finishes with an official speed racing TV time of 1 hour, 50 minutes and 19 seconds. Congratulations to Sinhe.
And we'll see if Sinhe wants to come in for an interview as No Name heads down to the left side of Ganon's Tower. So this was one heck of a race. There was a lot of routing possibilities, and neither of our runners really skipped anything. So it just came down to the efficiency at which our runners were able to get everything. And, well, Sinhe's routing proved to be a little bit better, execution a little bit cleaner, and that was more than enough to get build up a comfortable lead, starting from those early boots all the way to the end of the seed. So congratulations to Sinhe for moving on 4-1-1. Get a good shot at the brackets now. So the good news is going full left here after going right a little bit is going to get No Name his Butter Sword as well as half magic. We will be joined by Sinhe in a few minutes here.
He, No Name would have probably gotten it, and Ihu, as Vicky was in the room behind the ice armors. So if he continued right side, he'd come there eventually and get it as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, no, Butter Sword was in Bob's chest, you're right. I was thinking it was in the rando room.
And hello and congratulations to Sinhe. How did you feel about that race?
Yo, hey there, thank you. Well, I'm actually questioning myself, how did I even win this? With the amount of stuff that I checked overall.
Well, the good news is your opponent checked just about the same amount of stuff as you, so both of you had a basically 100% seed. Both of you ended up fighting and killing all 3 pendant bosses unnecessarily. Both of you ended up doing a full clear of Ice Palace. So,
Oh my goodness.
congratulations, your execution really brought you through here to get the victory in this race.
Yeah, thank you.
So how are you feeling? Do you have any goals for this tournament? Coming into this tournament, I mean, we only have 1 week left. You're sitting at a very comfortable 4-1-1. Did you have any goals for this tournament?
Actually, not really. I mean, if I make the cut for the bracket, given that I will eventually win my next matchup, then okay, I mean, I'll continue. Otherwise, I already said to a lot of people and also a goal for myself that I will retire a bit from Randomizer. Shouldn't I make the cut for the bracket?
Well, congratulations on that. You are well on your way to those bracket stage. Now, at any point, did you feel ahead or behind in this seed? Obviously, checking so much is not unlikely you felt a little bit behind, but still, your thoughts.
Well, actually, I felt behind when I found the Cane of Samaria in Palace of Darkness. Then again, the seed was super linear, if you think about it. The only thing that was really out of the way was the Cane of Samaria in the end.
Cane of Samaria hiding out in that pod rupee basement, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
As we get this Ice Armos fight on No Name's side.
At that point, I really felt behind. Then I only had Maya left, Desert, and 1 item in Swamp, which I skipped.
You
And
did
I still
manage to
can't-
skip the left side of swamp. That was impressive. That is something that that your opponent did not do. He went back into swamp for those 2 left side chests.
Oh my god.
As he gets his big key number 21 as well and heads up. Now, at the very beginning, there was the possibility of Aghanim. You had the cape, you had the lamp, and I believe you had everything except for that Moon Pro, which ended up being at Zora. At any point, did you just consider going up into Aghanim instead of going to check that one-off Zora location?
Actually, I did. And it was right after I finished Eastern. I was kind of... I'm telling to myself, so what else do you have? Yeah, Hobo would be out of logic right now. All right, you have the money for Zora. You never did that. So might as well go to the witch, get a potion just in case, and then make the way up to Zora. I was about to do Aghanim after Eastern, frankly said.
Well, that routing really worked out for you. I can say with confidence there were a number of runners in this tournament that would have gone right to Aghanim and avoided checking Zora first. So definitely a good call on your part there.
But that cape on the old man, that must have frightened you a bit.
It did. It did. In the end, it was only necessary for, I think, the flippers. Cape led to the powder for the flippers at bed, if I remember correctly. Super linear, this seed overall. Hence, I'm really curious why I won with the amount of stuff I did in the seed.
Well, like we said, yeah, your opponent ended up doing basically a full clear of the game, as did you. So you're going to be finishing here with the same gear.
That's really unfortunate.
So you'll have to go back and watch. It was an entertaining race, I'll say that.
Yeah, I'll definitely go check out right after this, or maybe later on. I'll probably go for a nap next, since I'm super tired.
So we're gonna get Bombo strats here in the gauntlet from No Name. Not messing around, not the fastest way, but it is a pretty reliable way. Bombo's a little bit overpowered overall, and with that half magic, plenty of magic to spare. So we'll be heading into our Lenmo 2 fight here in a moment. We'll stop for a little bit of powder. Gonna pause right before this Lenmo 2 fight. So when you're in that room, the Lenmo's already started spawning. And each of these heads is going to take a 2 butter sword slashes or spins to beat. So by pausing that little bit extra, you're going to make sure all 3 spawn at exactly the same time. And you're able to get that one big spin to deal that initial damage to all of them at once, which makes it a little bit easier. Not quite as fast as if you're just running into the room and skipping that powder in order to silver arrow each one of them down, as we saw Sinhe do earlier. Takes care of that Wizrobe room, no problem. Gonna go right up into the torch room, gets that lamp out, has plenty of magic to do with the fire rod, but we're gonna play it safe here with the lamp. Around the fire bar, really good movement will give you the ability to get to that top torch before that fire bar. Makes it through just before that torch goes out, that first torch. Usually people will light that rightmost torch instead of the leftmost first. Give themselves a little bit of extra time. Manages to not despawn GT. As we get through the second torch room, nothing doing for these chests here. Just pull out that bomb and go right in to bomb that wall. No, we are going to check these chests. Might as well see what's inside. Just some rupees and some arrows. And that bomb gets stuck a little bit on the wall, but we're going to be able to open up this wall, no problem. We get 19 hearts here on No Name's side, so pretty close to having that 20 hearts. Still no mushroom in sight for us. What did we miss? We missed the tile room. Is that it?
Or
it might be actually
it could also be right here behind Moldorm 2.
Always thinking about it. Just 20 rupees though.
It's
So
not.
no full 2 rows of hearts for us today.
Wait. It's the piece of heart at the race game. None of them both.
Oh, you're right. Everybody skipped that. That's unfortunate. But we're going to be headed into our Aga 2 fight on the left side, so looks like it's going to be just over 2 hours for No Name here. And he sets up and gets the triple right on the first cycle. So a beautiful triple done here. Only a single on that second one just because of that blue ball.
Just one more hit away.
And gets the job done. Down goes Aga 2 at 2:05. Or 2 hours and 5 seconds. So we're going to head into the big pig here. Butter sword, silver arrows, red mail, 19 hearts, 4 bottles. Should not be a problem. And start your day with a delicious breakfast made for your incredible insides. That's important. Breakfast is important. I haven't had breakfast yet. I should go have breakfast. It's 10 a.m. here in the States. Oh, at least in the good part. Shout outs to the East Coast. So we get a little bit of cape strats here from No Name. You'll notice his magic is not going down quite as fast as you think it would. He was grabbing the wall, and in this game, if you are grabbing the wall while you have the cape active, it doesn't use magic. So that's good. It's a sign that things were done properly. Fires off a practice shot here. He did find those arrows in Death Mountain. Gets the frame perfect hit on Ganon, though. Good setup for a double here. No, that fire bat's going to get in the way. So that's just our first hit on Ganon. 2, get that fire rod out, get those torches relit. So that torch on the left, yeah, it was a little bit glitched there. It is lit now, even though it was unlit, even though it looked like it was lit. There it goes, it fixed itself.
And last hit coming up.
So let's get our GGs in chat for No Name. He's going to finish here in a second. I think he just joined us. Is that true?
Yep.
Oh, it is. No Name. GGs, congratulations.
I hated that seed.
It was not a fun seed to route. So what did you hate about it specifically?
The Moon Pearl was mean, but at least there was money, and it felt like everything after that was just one mean thing after another. Mitts and Swamp. That is the 4th time this tournament I have had Mitts and Swamp.
And Mitts and Swamp, that certainly did open up the seed quite a bit. So those pendant bosses, none of them ended up being necessary. Both of you guys ended up fighting all 3. How were you feeling fighting those pendant bosses as you were going through this seed?
I felt like Mollis was a good decision because I knew it had an item and I was right there. It was essentially Mire area because it opened up desert, so that's why I went to Mire area when I did. Going back for Mothula, I did that when I did because I wanted to check the pedestal and be sure. I knew that Moth had the item because Moth can't have a small key, and there was a small key unaccounted for. So that was the bridge chest. But as I was doing it, I realized that Skullwoods was not the smart decision. I should have gone to, I think, Eastern and Pod were better then. And obviously, Helmasaur being green pendant with an item was pretty reasonable, and I didn't feel bad about that, even though it wasn't valuable. No, the thing I'm most annoyed with there is actually my decision to go to Vitreous rather than do left side of Mire. And I realized this as I was getting to Vitreous, that due to key logic, if the left side has a small key, it must also have the big key, but the big key accounted for, as well as both the map and compass. So no, I think there's only one of those accounted for. Regardless, that I knew there was a gem on the left side, therefore Vitreous had the small key, and there was no point rushing Vitreous to try to avoid left side, but I realized that too late.
It is certainly important to study the logic and figure out exactly which of those chests you can skip in those situations. I definitely give you a lot of credit on that Skull Woods check. I didn't even notice that. I was surprised you skipped that chest. But what you say now makes a lot of sense. So that was on purpose. That was a good call. So definitely props to you for knowing the logic that well. That's impressive.
Yeah, Ice Rod and Turtle Rock is evil. I never like going there without the Ice Rod. It just seems immediate. It's like, wow, that's just rude.
So you're sitting now at 3-3, eliminated from contention for the brackets. Do you have any goals for the tournament coming in?
I wanted a winning record, and seeing as my opponents have gone on to have quite good records, like I've had some tough matchups. And with the drops, some of the 4 and 3s do actually make it in, and I feel like the caliber of what I've been up against, I am not completely out.
All right, so still those bracket hope holding out for that bracket hope. So
I
definitely
just want a
go
winning
for
record, and I just want somebody who's not like who can easily beat me by like 10 minutes if things go roughly the same. The last 5 matches have been like that, and I've gotten 2 wins, and those wins were because of one person forgot a location for literally 20 minutes. I barely won, and then the other was super close, and I played pretty much the best I ever have, so it's tough.
Well, a winning record is within your capability, certainly. Both of these runners are runners to follow going forward, especially with that bracket stage still being a possibility for No Name. So please, everybody in chat, give these runners a follow. Links are in chat. That's IhavenonameSDA and Sinhe. So these are definitely both runners to watch for this tournament and for future tournaments. And while we're on the subject, let's give our tracker dude a follow. He's just made a little bit of an emote there in chat. I have no idea what that emote is. And myself, I'm Walking Eye, and my partner here is Demon's Druid. You can give us a follow too. Why not? We're pretty entertaining, I think so. And so I think that's going to do it for us. Demons,
fast forward to get to my collection rate faster. I'm betting like 190.
It was certainly high on both sides. I will say that. So, Demons, do you have any more questions? Anything else?
No, I don't. I just want to thank you all for watching, and especially thank the runners for doing this, as without you, we wouldn't even be able to commentate any of this. So thanks to you.
It was an incredibly entertaining race. I'm glad I was here for it. So thank you guys for running once again. GG's to both of you for finishing this this monster of a seed.
And 187.
So definitely higher than what you'd like, but plenty of time still to get that 4th win. So GG's to everyone. Give these runners a follow once again. Give Speed Gaming a follow, as well as the Speed Gaming family of channels. That's Speed Gaming 1 through 6. And for more Link to the Past randomizer action, as well as the Link to the Past randomizer channels themselves. That's ALTTP randomizer. That's 1 through 4. You'll be able to follow on there. So give everybody a follow. Follows are free. You can just give those out. You can have as many follows as you want. So just follow everything, and we'll get you more Link to the Past randomizer action. I'm Walking Eye for Demon's Druid, and for our runners, we are going to say good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you are. Goodbye. All right, I'm leaving. Have a good one, everyone.